All right, how is everybody doing out there? Uche Onyebadi is my name, and the forum is still Cross-Cultural Experiences, where I invite a guest from wherever on this planet, and that experience, the guest shares one or two experiences. Most importantly, or more importantly, what did that guest, learn from that experience? It's just a way to connect everybody, on this planet, and we realize that it is still one world. So today, I have a young man I call Jonas. And let me allow him to explain what we mean by Jonas. Jonas is not his real name, but he will introduce himself.
Hello, everybody. And Uche, it's very nice to see you. Of course, my name is Otieno. I am from Kenya, and I am a journalist and a sports journalist and a commentator as well. So obviously, my life takes me sometimes around the world to see what is going on out there. Now, the reason why we call each other Jonas, Uche calls me Jonas and I call him Jonas, is because at one time we were doing, it must have been the Cup of Nations.
African Cup of Nations.
Yeah. The African Cup of Nations, the Football Cup of Nations. And there were people who had some very difficult names, according to the Kenyans and everybody else. And so pronouncing these names was very difficult. But we made it an effort. We made the effort to be able to pronounce the names correctly. And so we had even Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Most people even now cannot pronounce his name correctly. They call him Boomayang, Bameyang, Booma. They have different versions. But we knew that his full name is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So if you break down that name, it becomes easier to be able to pronounce it. So we had Jonas Ogandaga.
Ogandaga.
You remember the name, Jonas Ogandaga?
He was from Gabon.
Yes, from Gabon. It was from Gabon. So Jonas Ogandaga was the other person. And Jonas, because we were mentioning those names a lot, we started referring to each other as Jonas, because it was a little bit of a fun name and a strange name at the same time, if you combine it with Ogandaga. That is how
Jonas. Yes. And the guy was not too big, but he was a stout defender. Remember?
He was very good. He was very good. Yes, he was very, very good in the game. But that's when also the name of Aubameyang came up, if you remember as well.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
We had so many crazy names, like good luck. Did we have good luck or something? There was some crazy names we had all over the place,
We had many interesting names. They are not good luck. Good luck is the one from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Good luck is the one from Nigeria.
There's another guy from I think Zambia or somewhere. Anyway.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Let's get back to this business. All right. I know you've traveled to so many places.
And, yes, I have had the fortune.
Yep.
I have had the fortune of traveling to different places. Yeah. And found some very interesting things that go on there. Let me start with Nigeria, for example. My very first time to Nigeria, I had a little bit of an experience with food, first of all. Just the food. It's not very normal that you find a breakfast that has pepper in it. And it's not very normal that you find breakfast that has fish, that has chicken, no, I'm not talking about, fish fingers or that has chicken nuggets. I'm talking about real stewed fish. And while you would relish in that and enjoy it, the first bite you find is full of pepper. Now that really threw my senses off balance the very first time. It was one of the most difficult things to do. First of all, to eat in the morning, and then to be able to digest it. In the evening, there was another problem again with pepper. When I now decided to be the nice person and told the chef, sorry, I don't like pepper. Could you do my meat without pepper? And he said, oh, no problem. And I was doing the suya, which was very close to what I know in Kenya as roast meat, the suya.
Yes.
So he said, no problem. Oh, my friend from Kenya, no problem. You want pepper? No pepper? I said, no pepper. And we struck a very good conversation and I sat waiting for it when it came. And the first bite I took, I went to the chef straight and asked him, but chef, I thought we agreed no pepper. And he was so mad at me, asking me, what do you mean? How can there be food with no pepper? And where is the pepper? Is that pepper now? Is that pepper? And to me, it was very chilly. To him, it was nothing. That was my very first
0% or 1%.
I tell you, to him, there was nothing. He was just annoyed that I haven't put anything at all. And you're saying that I've put a lot. So I had to digest that. And there was a beer.
Okay.
A 2-liter beer, I think. Guldas or something like that. And you know, as journalists, you also taste the people's beer wherever you go. So I decided to taste the beer there. I was given, I think it was a 2 or 1.5 liter. It just wasn't getting finished. I just wanted a little with my meal. This one was not getting finished. It was going and going and going. And that was my experience in Nigeria the first time. And I got used to it after that.
Right. You see, in Kenya, the bottles are smaller, huh?
They are much smaller. They're 300 milliliters. You know, you don't get a half liter or anything like that in terms of beer. No, you don't. It's 300 milliliters.
And they say when you are eating the suya with a lot of pepper, and then you are drinking the beer, you never get drunk.
But the pepper stings you proper, you know.
Correct.
The pepper stings you proper. So that really was an experience. Let me tell you the second experience again in Nigeria is in the streets. It was the market in Yaba. I think yes, Yaba market. First of all, I was very, it was very interesting to note that the market was 24 hours. We were not used to that. Now with these new economies, yes, maybe you have markets that are 24 hours, but that was the first time I'm seeing this. But what was interesting is you buy a trouser here, immediately next to that trouser, there is somebody who immediately wants to sell you a belt for that trouser. Immediately you buy that trouser, there is somebody who wants to punch holes in it to fit your waist, measuring you and everything else. Immediately after that, there is somebody who wants to sell you socks to go with that trouser. Immediately after that, there's somebody else who wants to sell you shoes. And at first, I found it very harassing. But later, I just understood it's the way the economy goes. You will need a pair of socks, you'll need a pair of shoes, you will need a shirt to go with it, you'll need a tie, you'll need a coat. But I hadn't planned to buy the whole suit in one place. And now, here is something that really troubled me. In my country, we are used to price controls. So the price of soda will be the same in this shop, will be the same in that shop, will be the same in the other shop. Now, at the market of in Yaba, you know how humid it gets in Lagos as well. You are bound to take some water, take some soda. So I bought soda here at one price. I went to buy soda in the next place, the same soda, same quantity, same brand. It was a different price. And so I casually asked, why is your price different from the price there? And the man looked at me and told me, because that is his, and this is mine. This is mine, and that is his. And that conversation ended. He didn't tell me why the price of his soda, which is the same in terms of quantity, which is the same flavor, the same packaging, the same brand, is a different price there and not the other place. That is my experience of Nigeria.
I mean, of course, I'm from Nigeria, but you see, some of those things hit us. One, I went to buy something from somewhere, in Lagos Island itself. And I saw a tie. It's clearly written like made in Brazil. I said, no, I want to buy the one from Nigeria. Why am I buying something from Brazil? The young, tiny little boy who was saying, oh, made in Brazil, don't forget about it. This is from us. Yeah. I said, okay, but it is written made in Brazil. I told you, forget about made in Brazil. Just buy it and then go. Just think that it's Nigerian. Made in Brazil doesn't matter at all. Just go.
As long as it's in Nigeria, don't worry about where it is from.
Yes, don't worry about Brazil. Now, let me ask you again. Did you experience haggling? Haggling for the price? To haggling for price.
Oh, yes. And if I was not told that it's a lifestyle, I really thought it was harassing. If I wasn't told by my friends that is the lifestyle, that is the essence of buying, You
Buying,
know,
yeah.
then I would really have gotten harassed. But they told me you cannot just accept the price for what it is. And they cannot just tell you the main price. And I was like, why don't you just tell me it is 200 naira, 2,000 naira, and let me just buy it. Say now, why? Why 2,000 naira? So it was always triple. And then you argue and get annoyed. That's a part that I had to learn later. I became an expert on it later. I get annoyed, you know, and say, you know, if he says 2,000, you tell him, if I give you 1,000, I try, or, you know, I'm really pushing myself if I can even give you 1,000 bob. And then we start haggling down. And the last thing I remember, because now I trained myself to listen to that, was the part that says, bring money. If he says bring money, it means now we have a deal.
You have hit an accord. You know, haggling is not done in so many places. So they tell you the price, you slash it by 50%. And then you slash it again by 25%.
Yes, from there
and you keep coming down. Then you pause. Okay, I'm not buying them. I'm going.
Yes.
Then the guy
in
says,
fact,
okay,
you get annoyed. You get annoyed and say, no, I'm even going. You know, even if I give you 1,000, I'll really have pushed myself, but I can't even give you that 1,000. I'm leaving. Then he says, no, come. Then we start to negotiate again.
And they're calling you my friend.
Yes.
My customer. And that is the first time he's seen you. He's calling you my customer.
I know you. I know you are my friend, you know. But now it's time consuming. But it is the lifestyle. So later, I became an expert in it. Later, I became an expert.
Let's move on to the other experiences you had.
Yes, I worked in Ethiopia for a little while as well, a couple of years. And the one thing that really troubled me is at lunchtime, we went to a restaurant and we asked what kind of meat they have. So they told us they have beef, and they also have goat meat. Now, some of us had preference for goat meat, so I ordered my half kilo of goat meat. Yes. And we sat down now to have some juice, have some drink as we are waiting for the food to come. And the food it was very quick, like 2 minutes. The food was on the table, and I was marveling at how quick these people are at making this food, and they put the food on the table. Only the meat had been brought the way it is, raw, with some spices on the side and 4 small knives.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It was brought raw on the table with some spices on a tray, with some spices on the side, and 4 small knives. And we said, no, this is not for us. I think it must be for the next table or something. One of us argued and said, yeah, that was our meat. I think they want us to see it and say it is the one so they can go and prepare it. They told us, no, it's ready now. You can eat it now. We said, this is raw. They said, yeah, that is the way we eat it. And that knife is for cutting the meat. You put it on some spice and you eat it like that. Raw meat. Raw.
Okay,
and that was a big shock to me. It was a very big shock. Because apparently eating meat is also, it's a ceremony. It's something, it's a special occasion, but they do it very often. You know, they just have a preference for eating raw red meat. And they say it's very healthy, according to them. Raw red meat.
You don't want to tell me what happened, do you?
Did I eat it? How can I eat raw meat? So we told him, no, go cook. And you know, the language is also another problem because they speak Amharic. And Amharic is not one of the easiest languages to learn. It's a difficult language. It's a blend of a lot of things, including Arabic and a little bit of Swahili.
You speak so many languages, and if you say it's tough, then I know it's tough.
It's very tough, but I can assure you, I deciphered it. At the end of it all, I deciphered it. But yes, it's very, very tough because it's a blend of Arabic, it's a blend of Swahili words. So you have to look at what you know and what you don't know and put it together. So we told him, no, cook, fire, you know, like go and put it on fire. He said, fire? No fire, no, eat. We said, no, fire. And that was the end of it. We did not eat the meat. We could not eat the meal. And this happened to me a couple of times when I was with friends who were saying, let's go have some meat over the weekend. And you go out there and you go to a place where people are sitting down and there's this whole big chunk of meat and they're just cutting pieces and putting on your plate. And my friends are just cutting it with a knife, putting it on some sauce and eating it.
That's it. Well, that's what goes there. I mean, they're not dead. That's what they
That's it. They're there. Now you can understand why they were never colonized. They didn't use fire to cook. because they thought the colonialists would be able to see the fire, so they ate it raw, and that has persisted up to now.
Actually, Ethiopia and Liberia, I think those are the two African countries that were not colonized by anybody.
Correct.
All right.
So you see,
go ahead.
So that was one of the experiences. Not to say that I'm not saying there are no places where the food is cooked. Yeah. Normally, you'll just eat the injera and anything else. But now, if you want something special, then it goes in that direction. And then they also have another one in which they cook it, which is called shekla. And that is now sliced pieces of meat. It's like crisps, and then it's just deep fried in oil. Again, for some of us who like to keep it lean, I couldn't do that. But that was it. I navigated that and came out of it unscathed. Okay. Having lost a couple of pounds, having lost a couple of kilos in weight, all for the good.
All right.
Now, occasionally, my travels have taken me to Europe.
Okay.
And the first time I was in Europe, I was in France, and I was with some friends who had come to see me. They were very excited to see me, but the day was just a little bit too long. I was feeling tired, but I don't know why I am tired, extra tired. So I thought maybe it's just a change of, weather and all that in a different environment. And as we are chatting, we have eaten lunch and we have had drinks and we are eating supper. And I'm just wondering why everything seems to be taking so long, only to ask someone what time it was, because it's very bright and the light is out and all that, for him to tell me it was 10 o'clock in the night. And I'm wondering, what do you mean 10 o'clock in the night? There's a lot of light out here. It looks like it's 11 o'clock in the day. What do you mean?
Sunshine.
The sun is still shining because it was summer. 11 o'clock, it was still very bright. But my body is tired because my body is telling me I should rest. But I'm accustomed to seeing the darkness to know that it is now time to retire to bed. So I'm still up. And I'm only noticing that all the things you do in the day, we have done them. We've had lunch, we have had dinner, we have had drinks. All the things that you'd normally catch up with in one day, we have finished them.
But how come what's wrong with the sun nowadays?
Yeah, I didn't even think it was the sun. I'm just thinking, how come this day is longer than the others? And you don't want to seem like you have not been there before, it's your first time. So you want to seem like you're really taking it in nicely, really taking it in. Until someone told me, no, it's summer, the days are very, very long. And that was a big problem, very big problem. The opposite was also a big problem. So in winter, I'm supposed to be going to work at 7 o'clock. Because I worked in London for a little bit. I'm supposed to be going to work at 7 o'clock. I'm waiting for the light to shine for me to know it is day. There is no light. It's still dark. I'm looking at the time. It is 7 o'clock. Is it my clock that has a problem? I'm looking at the wall clock. It's saying the same time, but there's no light outside. So how can I go out until someone tells me, hey, let's go. This is the way it is. You're going to be working in darkness, coming back in darkness. So I come back home at around 6 p.m. and I go into my room and they tell me, no, let's go out. And I'm like, no, I'm not going out. It's already dark. They told me you have to go out. Even on a weekend, you have to go out in the darkness and do the activities of the darkness. Otherwise, you are going to have very long nights because you'll have the day as the night as the night, another very, very long time of your life. Those two experiences were probably the most difficult for me to navigate, especially.
All right. You know what? I marvel at your experiences, from the food in Nigeria to the food in Ethiopia, and now the day became like night, and the night became the day, and your body is telling you something, and your eyes are telling you something else.
Yes, and then now somebody taught me the trick that when it's time to sleep, if you usually sleep at 10, pull the curtains. And then I was wondering, why are the curtains in this house of mine so thick and so heavy? But it's because they have to blind out the whole of the lights, so that you feel like darkness has come. But now you wake up in the morning, it is 7, you open the curtains, it is like midnight, very dark again. Now, to navigate those two actually was one of my biggest challenges. If you put it together with the weather itself, the winter itself,
Yes.
and I was there in one of the winters that was a little bit too harsh, where you have to wear, layers. You
Layers
have to
and
wear like
layers of
two
clothes.
or
Yeah.
three different, clothing inside and outside. And then you get to the office and you have to remove everything and remain lean again. Then as you're going out, you have to again put it on to make yourself heavy. This is things that I've never done before. We are so used to being in Africa and wearing your t-shirt and your shirt and all that. When you were younger, you didn't have that much of a change in clothes. Now in one day, you wear different sets of clothes. You go to the office, you have to remove all the layers, put them down, work. Then when you're leaving, you have to pretend that again, now you're putting everything on, to go out. That was quite a challenge.
For me, the first time I have ever bought a sweater was traveling to Canada. In
Yes,
Nigeria,
yes.
you didn't need sweaters. I didn't even know what they meant, to wear them all those layers until they say, if you're going to Canada and you don't want to come back in a bag, you better dress.
You better dress like that. Yes. It's true. It's true.
Jonas,
the frostbite.
Yes, I think this is a very good way to end it now, but it tells me something, that people who enjoy this world are people who report sports. See how it starts taking you to so many places, so many experiences.
Oh, that takes you to very... I haven't even told you my experiences in Japan that were also... this is a story for another day.
That's for another day. That's
for another day, yes. But yes,
all right, I want to thank you, for the time and sharing your experiences, so that somebody who's going to Ethiopia will first ask questions. Okay,
yes.
I want the other type of meat. And then when you get to Nigeria and they start telling you crazy prices,
yes. You take it easy and relax, yes.
Maybe that's why the Nigerian musician played the popular song, Baby Calm Down. Nigeria.
Yes, I know the song. Yeah, I know the song.
All right. Thanks again for your time, and then we'll do it again.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, Jonas, bye.
Bye, Jonas. See you later then. Talk to you later. Bye. Thank you.